The question I have is, how many of us use more than say 10 to 20% of Microsoft Office features? If most of us don't use it, why is Microsoft adding so many features? It's because they are responding to their demanding customers, which basically results in what Christensen brilliantly identified as the performance oversupply problem, and hence they are getting disrupted by Google Docs and Zoho Docs. Now the problem with the performance oversupply concept is that it is very, very rare. It doesn't happen that often, which is why disruptive innovation is hard. My recommendation is that we go after performance undersupply, which is far more pervasive. In fact, every system or process that we use has performance undersupply waiting to be tapped by an innovator. The example I have is a water tap. Now all of us are supposed to conserve water, but I don't know any water tap that tells you how much water has flown since the time you opened it to closing it. Now we could put a digital flow meter in every tap, but then that could be prohibitively expensive. So here is a problem waiting for a breakthrough innovation. Now let's look at pivots. From my own exercise journey, I tried running, it didn't work. I switched to yoga, then to tennis, then to gym, then to golf and many other things. Every time I failed, I changed my approach, which is nothing but the pivot, change of approach. Now my point is, when you spot a performance undersupply, it's a function of the approach that a system or process is taking. So if you pivot that, you get innovation, which is why I say you start with a pivot. Now if you want breakthrough innovation, you start with an extreme pivot. And the famous example I already gave last time is Apple's iPhone, which pivoted to a keyboardless phone, but then putting a touchscreen on it was considered impossible, and they got that done, and that's how it's a breakthrough. In Cognizant, as the CIO, my team, we executed a pivot from big app to small app. Big apps took a lot of time, months and years, and still didn't deliver the user experience that we were looking for. Move to small apps, which we could deliver in a few weeks, sometimes in few days, with 500% productivity gain and no training required. That is why it is successful and impactful. This is why I say that Alexa, Uber, Tesla, Swiggy are all extreme pivots, and that's why they are impactful. In summary, if we can spot a bottom of the iceberg performance undersupply, envision an extreme pivot, break it down into a small high quality MVP that we can test with customers and take it from there. YouTube could have started as a social video sharing site because none existed at that time, and it was considered to be very difficult to do because of the scaling requirements.